Hope you guys are enjoying the National Title I Conference as much as we are. Got a little bit of the parade, hopefully got a cheesesteak. I'm seeing some familiar faces. Thank you for some of you who have come by our booth and talked with us and came here today. Some of we've seen in the hotels as well. My name is David Porter. I'm one of the directors for Family Leadership. I also have with me Karen Williams. She's also one of our directors, and also Katie Harry, and we welcome you guys to A Proven Model. Create strong, effective family engagement with parenting partners. And without further ado, we're just going to get started because we want to dive in and let you guys experience what parents get to experience in these workshops, okay? So here's Karen to get you guys started.
Thank you, David. Hello, everyone. Can you hear me? It's kind of freaky to hear your voice so loud. But anyway, thank you for coming to our session. We're going to get right into it. First of all, I know that having worked on the district level myself, that it is a real challenge to try to find something that helps with parent engagement, something that's sustainable, something that builds those trusting relationships. So we are glad that you're here today to hear about our model, which will address those concerns. But let's first look at the influential voices. These are people who have done lots of research, actually over 50 years of research, on what it takes to build a strong, effective program for family engagement. How many of you have heard of Dr. Karen Mapp? Okay, you know her book, Beyond the Bake Sale. You've heard of that. She has other publications as well. There's one called Title I and Parent Engagement. But we know that Dr. Mapp has given us proven research practices that show that parent engagement can be sustained and can be effective. How many of you have heard of Joyce Epstein? She's been around for a while. Her and her 6 types of parent engagement. We know that parents can be involved in different ways, and she has identified 6 ways that that can be done. She also has many publications, and she is the founder of the National Network of Partnership Schools. Anyone in here belong to that network, the National Network? Okay, well maybe that's something you may want to research. And also the U.S. Department of Education endorses the Dual Capacity Building Framework for Parent and Family Engagement. And that's what we're going to talk about. All right. So, how important is family engagement? Very, very important. It's important for children's academic development. It's important for their social development as well as their emotional development. Can we all agree on that? But there's still this challenge, and I believe parents know this, but for some reason we are still challenged with getting them engaged in what's going on in the school and with their students' achievement. So, routinely what we hear is, how do we get more families involved? What is that magic potion, that silver bullet? Does anybody out there have that silver bullet? No, you're here for that. You want to hear about that. Okay. Feed them. Okay. That's only one part of it. But how do we sustain that? Many of you in past years have recognized that your school populations are becoming more and more diverse. You're getting children from different backgrounds and different cultures into your school. So not only your English-speaking families, but families from other countries, families that speak other languages. How do we engage them for their children's education? And most definitely, how do we build a strong partnership for student achievement between home and school? Well, this is how. This is what we know from the research. First of all, you have to have in mind that you want your parent engagement to be sustainable. You want to cultivate it, to be sustainable. We also know that building positive and trusting relationships with families is what works. What can we do without the trust between school and family? Not much. Also, we understand, as most of you are working in Title I schools, you're familiar with the Homeschool Compact. which is that shared responsibility for student learning. Parents have their role to play, teachers and principals and staff have their role to play, and students have their role to play. So we have to understand and help parents understand that it is a shared responsibility. They can't depend on you as the school to do everything, but they must do their part as well. And we also have to realize that we want to build on key parent roles, and you'll hear more about those roles later. All right, so engaging parents for student achievement. The key principles of parent involvement. First of all, you don't ever want to approach your parent involvement from a deficit base. You want to build on the strengths that parents have, because parents have real strengths. They are contributors, but sometimes they don't know that. And our job is to help them know that and to understand that and how they can use their skills, their abilities, their talents to support the school for student achievement and school improvement. And secondly, we must respect and value families' experiences, their knowledge, their contributions, and the potential that they have. Okay? All right. So we're going to do a quick activity. So pair up with somebody next to you before I give your instructions. And if you're by yourself, you can move a little bit, or if there are three of you, the three of you can work together. How about that? So this is one of the activities we do right off the bat with our parents, because like I said, sometimes they don't know the qualities that they possess. They don't know what strengths they have. So on the screen and on your handout, you see a list of valuable parenting qualities. What I want you to do is to identify those valuable parenting qualities that you feel apply to you. For example, are you patient? Are you good with follow-through? Are you consistent? So circle those qualities that apply to you. Give you a minute to do that. Now, if you're not a parent, but you are a caring adult for a child, think in terms of being that caring adult and what qualities you bring. Okay? So what you're going to do is an activity we call Tell Me a Story. You are going to interview each other. Okay? And again, this is going to be very quick. You're going to interview each other, and you're going to tell about a time when you did something really good as a parent. You felt like it worked. It was just like the best thing you did as a parent. And in doing that thing, what qualities came out? What are your valuable qualities that came out? Tell about a time when you were at your very best as a parent, or, as I said earlier, a caring adult. All right? So the first person will interview the second person, and you decide who's first and who's second. And the first person will ask these questions, and they're on your handout. What did you do? And what worked well? Okay? And after the first person is done, you're going to switch up, and we'll give you, what, about 30 seconds? 90 seconds to do that. David has the timer. First person interview for 90 seconds, and then the second person interview for 90 seconds. Does that make sense? Keep it brief, and you're going to share your valuable qualities. What is it that you did, and what worked well? Go. Time's up. Switch. Second person, interview first person. 90 seconds. Let's go. All right, time's up. Time to stop. Okay, everyone, question for you. Do you think that this is a good activity for parents to participate in? Now, this is what happens here. Right away, we are tapping into their positives. We're telling them they have something positive to share right away. And then they get to share it with somebody else. Okay, so that is one of the activities we do with our first workshop. So let's move on. I got to get out of here. That's what they're telling me. Selecting best practice programs. Here's a checklist. How do we know if a program that we want to use for parent engagement is a best practice program? First of all, it builds on parents' roles. It's a best practice, and there's research to support it, and there are outcomes that are documented. It's practical and relational. It develops parent skills and capacity. It builds on the partnership for achievement, school and home. It builds parent leadership, and of course, it is sustainable. It's not one of those come to our workshop and we'll see you later, but it's sustainable, it's ongoing. Key principles of engagement, we build on the proven framework of the dual capacity framework, the research from Harvard, as well as Joyce Epstein's 6 types, all proven, all evidence-based. The dual capacity framework for family and school partnerships, if you study it, you'll see that we are talking about building adult capacity, school staff, as well as parent capacity. Ineffective parent partnerships, again, is providing services versus providing capacity building for parents and for schools. And the characteristics of effective programs, again, it's systemic, it's integrated, and it's sustainable. It's not isolated, right? It is applied to the whole program within your school and your district. It's relational, interactive, and collaborative, and it's development of parent leaders and parent engagement versus service. The effective outcomes are for staff. Staff are more welcoming. Schools are more welcoming and inviting for families. Schools and staff honor and value families' contributions, and schools connect engagement to student learning. That's so vitally important. Whatever you're doing, it connects to student learning. For families, the outcome includes families who are engaged in different roles. They are supporters, encouragers, monitors, advocates, decision makers, and collaborators. You see some of Epstein in this, don't you? This is what she does. All right, so the paradigm shift. If we want parents to be partners, we have to treat them like partners from the beginning. Strength-based versus deficits, partners versus consumers. The traditional model, as we know, is you provide a training, you give it to the parents, and then nothing else happens beyond that. With parents are consumers, we do the one and done, and there's no sustainability or leadership development. But with our parenting partners model, we call it the plant and grow model. Parent leaderships benefits more parents, more children, and it benefits the schools. And we train some parents, they train other parents, and so it's a sustainable growth model. So our paradigm shift, just a couple things to think about. What do you find helpful about the dual capacity framework? And what stands out as a district, or perhaps what is new in your thinking about creating dynamic partnerships and programs for engagement? All right, that was quick, but I am going to turn it over to my friend here, Katie.
Right behind you.
Thank you.
Awesome. So here, I'll take that clicker from you. So it's wonderful, right, to talk about all the research and get such a good background and get excited about that, but how do we actually build those parent leaders? So we're going to talk a little bit about that. First of all, I would love if one of you would be brave enough to stand up here with me. We're going to do some little skit exercises. It won't just be one of you. You'll be joined by others soon. But is there one person that's like, I've been sitting? Yep, please come right up here. And what is your name? Latoy. So Latoy is our young person representative. So all of you, after you shared that parenting story, right, we're still going to be in the parent mindset. So you thinking of yourselves as a parent, Latoy is your child. What are your hopes and dreams for her? Just shout them out. To graduate. What else? Go to college. Be successful. Absolutely. What else? Be happy. What's that? Confident. Yeah, be confident. Be healthy, someone said. What was that? Be a good human being, good character. Yes, so many incredible things. Oh, I love that feeling that she has purpose, right? Driven. Wonderful. Absolutely. So now, why don't you guys tell us then what are some of the things that could get in the way of her achieving those wonderful hopes and dreams that you have? You have to shout them out. Bad friends. Yep, so that would be peer pressure. Come on down. Oh, no, yes, bad relationship with the teacher. Someone said drugs and alcohol right here. Can you jump right up here? Parent school failure. What else? Society. Yes, media is what we would call that. What's that? Crisis. Yeah, they're just going through way too much. Absolutely. And these are all correct, but we only have signs for a few of them. I think we're looking for a really big one. What else? Self-confidence. What's that? What might lead to teen pregnancy? So who wants to be our representative? Come on up. All right. Brave soul. Brave soul. All right, so this is what's going to happen, y'all. I need all of you who are representing our negative influences to make a circle around LaToya, our young person. And when I tell you to, you're going to bombard her with those negative influences. Be gentle, right, on the face. But go ahead and throw those risk factors towards her. Bombard her. Lightly, gently. Oh, no. No. Okay. So now I'm gonna pull her up here. LaToya, can you tell me how that experience was for you? What was that like? You can face the audience this way.
It felt kind of bad to stand up here and watch you all watch them throw stuff at me and I couldn't do anything.
Yeah, helpless, right? Just completely helpless. So we're not gonna leave her like this, right? You guys are doing a good job. I need 8 of you to jump right up here with me. You've been dying to be a part of this exercise. Just 8 people, and grab a sign from Karen and David. Yes, wonderful. Yep. And so now, again, you all are going to be doing the same exercise, but those of you who are holding our signs, we call these our parent role banners, please come forward. Come towards LaToya, and you're going to make a circle around her. Yeah. But with your back facing her. Yeah. A full circle. There you go. So now, our negative influences, you guys can make a circle around her again, and we're going to try it again, but parents holding the banners, don't let them get in. All right, go for it. Don't let him in. Yes. They're really working for it, right? Awesome. All right, can you give them a round of applause, you guys? So the banner, people can go that way. And then everybody else, our negative influence, just go ahead and you can leave those. You can put them on the table. Just take them off. Yep. Give those to Karen. You can sit down. Thank you, LaToya. Actually, I had one more question for you. So what was that experience like that time around?
I felt like I was being protected and that somebody really cared about how I was feeling.
Absolutely. Thank you for your help. So this demonstration was to show you all about the 8 key parent roles, and that's what we'd start right into our workshops after that valuable parenting quality, to show you, right, that parents are equipped with these things, and we're going to help them see that they have these tools and they can exercise these tools. And so a quick little background on them. You all aren't in order, and that's all right. But so modeling, an example of that would be, yes, thank you, would be shared learning and reading and enthusiasm for education. Creating structure, what are some examples of that for you as parents? Creating structure in your home. Routine, bedtime. Yeah, right? Dinner together, absolutely, those routines. Partnering, so connecting home and school, planning for further education, a lot of what y'all are trying to do as educators. Collaborating, so working to improve the school, community needs, things like that. And leadership, a really important one, right? Getting those parents to advocate and be decision makers on your campus and leaders, right? Absolutely. Thank you all. Thank you, ladies. You can give those to David. Can you give them a round of applause, too? Thank you. Beautiful. So what you all will see, right, in the research that is backing all these things up is when they're applying these skills, you're actually going to see GPAs rising, so the shared reading, right? If you're modeling with your kids, reading along with them, maybe even adding 1 hour a week to your reading together, research shows that their GPA will jump up by a half, 0.51, right? That's the difference between a letter grade. So pretty incredible, as well as the structure and the communicating with the parent teacher, you're gonna see that boosting those GPAs. And that research, it links education with indicators, right? Of achieving test scores, of student grades, confidence, like a lot of you were saying, lower dropout rates. And one that we love to even talk about is that shared family meal together, encouraging parents that, hey, we're all busy. You know, how hard is it to get together at the dinner table? Maybe adding 3 meals a week together, whether that's all 3 on Saturday or an evening or a breakfast here and there. Research directly links that to kids being out of addictions, right? Less likely, and for them improving in their grades and their confidence. Some pretty incredible and powerful research here. So some of those key principles of parent engagement is build that skill capacity of both the staff and the parents to partner and support, right? And it's practical and relational. How do we build that capacity? We were talking about some of those things by listening, by clear expectations, dealing with conflict. Parenting skills are actually leadership skills. Would you all agree with that? Yeah, pretty powerful thing. We're going to do another little exercise. So one person who has not volunteered, or that's 2 people who haven't volunteered yet. Come on down. Come on down. 2 people. Yes, from the back. Wonderful. Thank you. So once again, they are representing our young person. David's going to give them instruction. What we're going to demonstrate is the power that our words have. So those of you who we've pre-volunteered, Karen gave you an orange strip of paper. If you guys had that in front of you, can you raise it up high so we know that you're here and you're ready? Awesome. And so one at a time, I'm going to have you read that to your young people. All right, so where is our person number 1? Person number 1. All right, so you're going to read that to your young people right here. And David might actually walk around to make sure that you are heard. Here we go.
Never mind, I'll do it myself. Why are you always so slow?
Number 2.
I know I said I would do it, but something came up that's really important. I know you don't mind.
3.
That's stupid. I can't believe you did that.
You never do anything right. You have to do it exactly this way or it's ruined.
Choose a theater kid. Yeah.
Who's next?
5.
I'm going to send the money with your older brother. I'm sure you'd just lose it.
6.
Why did you just get a B instead of an A?
What's happening to your heart, guys? Number 7.
Look at this mess you've made out of your homework project. Can't you do anything without it being a disaster? Clean it up right now.
Nice.
Last one, number 8.
I've told you 1,000 times to pick up your room. I'm not going to tell you again.
Oh, you guys, what's happened to your heart? What would that feel like?
It felt really bad to hear a lot of criticism. And how did you feel?
I'm sad. Just a little piece of my heart.
Well, and here's the thing, y'all. This is the only really negative exercise that we do in our workshops that really makes an impact. We're all human, right? Have you heard some of those things either come out of your mouth or a colleague, right? We're human, it happens, but what we're demonstrating is that our words have the power to really tear down our children, right, and our students. But the great news is that we would never just leave them like that. We're gonna build them back up. So David is showing these pamphlets that are in the middle of your tables. There may not be enough for everybody right now, but go ahead and share and look at it. What you're going to do is read a couple of those and find one that you'd love to say to these young people to build their hearts back up. Gently unfold. All right. Great. So if you see something that you'd like to say, shout it out off of that pamphlet. You're so fun to be around. What else?
You mean the world to me.
Oh, what else? Couldn't have done it without you.
I like your humor.
I like your humor.
More. You're so creative.
I know you can do it. I'll be here if you need me.
Love that one.
A couple more, yeah. Building it up. Go ahead and shout it out. Way to go. I couldn't do that as well as you. That's remarkable. And one more.
Trabajaste tan duro en eso. Ahora vamos a hacer algo divertido juntos.
pickup. So how was that experience?
That was really refreshing, and I did feel really good about myself.
Felt nice.
Felt nice. Awesome. Well, thank you to our volunteers. You can take those signs up. Give them a round of applause again. Wonderful. So just demonstrating, right, that our words are so powerful in building our child's confidence. And those of you who have one of those, you get to keep that. So another thing, right, that we'll show you, I'm giving you all these awesome parenting tools, is the argument trap. Those of you, right, with kids who are either young or teens, what are the reasons that some of your kids argue?
Where's our finger trap?
Tell me. They want to get what they want. They want attention. That's why they're arguing with you. Okay, what else? They're frustrated. So how about they are avoiding homework, right? They just don't want to do their homework, eating breakfast, maybe taking a shower. And how about those teenagers? Those of you who had or have those teenagers, curfews, right? Being to class on time, choice of friends is a big one. So these are a lot of things that our parents are dealing with conflict, right? And I'm going to show a little demonstration with David and Karen here.
What do kids argue with their parents most often? Every day. Doing homework, right? So I'm sitting at home, and here comes mom home to greet me, sitting in front of the television, not doing my homework.
Hi, David. How was your day?
Oh, it was good, Mom. How was yours?
It was good. Have you done your homework?
No, not yet. I'm just watching this show. I'll get it done later.
David, turn the television off and do your homework now.
But why? The show's almost over. As soon as it's over, I'll do my homework later.
David, I said turn the television off and do your homework.
It's not even due till Friday, Mom. I mean, seriously, do I have to do this right now?
That doesn't matter. I'm telling you to do it now.
But I don't, but I mean, the show's almost over. Come on, Mom.
And how often have you seen that, right? Happening. That sounds a little familiar. This can go on, and David's an expert arguer. He has 3 kids. But what we're going to do is I'm going to give them a powerful tool, right, to protect them from this argument. I'm going to let David use that as a demonstration. So on our shield, we call this our shield, it says nevertheless, regardless. Simple words, right? Nevertheless and regardless. And let's see how this works when she applies that as a parent.
Hi, David. How are you? Have you done your homework?
No, not yet. I'm just watching the show. It's almost over. I'll do it later.
David, do your homework.
But I don't want to right now. I'm going to do it after this show.
Nevertheless, do your homework.
But, Mom, it's not due till Friday. I promise I'll get it done later. I mean, seriously.
Regardless, do your homework.
I mean, I'm getting a good grade already in the class. I mean, do I have to do it now?
Nevertheless, do your homework.
Okay.
All right, so a little bit easier, right? And while it's a silly exercise, this is the most beneficial tool of all of our parents, right? The most commonly used of our parents that go through the workshops. Now, what Karen did, she didn't break from what she was saying, right? Used very few words. She was kind of like a broken record. She was serious. Hey, nevertheless, do your homework. You were kind of a little bored of the word, right? It gets a little old. That's exactly how kids will respond and just kind of give in, right? So we want to give you that strong, powerful tool. And now, talking about positive discipline. So they have the responsibility, decision making. What are the consequences? The positive consequences. They are training tools that give children the mental and moral capacity to develop positive actions and habits. And they also are all that weight room, that visual right there, that builds the strength to act morally and successfully to get along with others. So we have a lot of discussion around positive discipline, right, is practice for success. And you can see that in sports and in music, that practice of positive discipline is going to really help our kids succeed. Which leads us to parents ignoring the polls, right? So parents, as a confident parent, you want to ignore everything that's telling you have to be this kind of parent and this kind of parent, right? Without comparing ourselves, and be confident that you know what you're doing. You're the parent, especially because we want to be the parent now and the buddy later, right? So let's think about that for a second. If we're wanting to be our kid's friend and kind of giving in to those arguments, they're kind of going to see us as the friend, right? But what they need, and what you all so clearly agreed with, is that structure, and they need the parent, right, that follows through with those things, with those consequences, and giving that positive discipline and direction so that they can be parented, they can be confident and successful as an adult, and then when they're an adult, they can be your friend, right? So those key principles for parent engagement, the skillful parents creating structure and achievement, and parents are connected to the teacher and learning goals. And I'm going to hand it over to David to talk about our model.
Thank you, Katie. All right, so now that you guys have been introduced to a few of the skill building techniques that we actually utilize in the Parenting Partners workshops, it's my pleasure to introduce to you the Parenting Partners program. You'll see here that what we start with in the first year is the Core 6 workshops. Those Core 6 workshops can be built upon from year to year. So each year your parents will have new content. As you see in the second year, we have Family Meals Challenge. In year 3, we're going to have Innovative Parent Leadership. So essentially what we're doing is taking a cohort of parent leaders through workshops that will build skill capacity that lead to results in the classroom. Our parents don't just go to workshops and get a certificate either. They typically take leadership roles down at their schools and in their communities. We've revived dormant PTAs and PTOs. We help school site councils, parent committees. We get your parents more engaged at the school site level to advocate for their kids. We help develop Parent Champions initiatives. So we produce posters and some content that schools can put up in their front office. If you guys have a Teacher of the Month and a Student of the Month, why don't you have a Parent of the Month, right? This actually creates buzz. Other parents come in the office and go, dude, what's up? I want to be a Parent Champion. How do I get a poster? Oh, well, I'm glad you asked. We have parenting partners here at the school. We want you to join the leadership team. So this is how it works. Everything can be done in Spanish as well as English, as you've seen on that 101 days of positive power words, right? Everything is translated for you. We can do all training, coaching, and ongoing support in Spanish as well. We found that the program is successful across all grade levels, from early childhood all the way through high school. These are universal principles. Parents argue with their kids whether they're 6 or 16, guys, and they need the skills to navigate that. It's a proven approach. We're obviously bringing in a wealth of experience here, almost 20 years of best practices and assisting schools and districts to enhance their parent engagement. Most importantly, as you've seen with our exercises here today, this is easy, right? This is practical stuff. It's easy to understand. In fact, we can train parents to even be the facilitators back at your school. It is a trainer of trainers model, school site-based. So each one of your participating schools will send a team of 6 people to a training, which we'll show you here in a minute. That team will then return to your school and lead the workshop series, typically once a week, about 90 minutes apiece. So how do we do this? Well, it's actually really easy. The first step, you form your Rockstar All-Star team, right? Teachers, social workers, counselors, parent liaisons, coordinators, principals, you better get there too. And of course, we advocate for parents on these teams. The team will attend a 2-day training, as you see here. Each team gets to sit at their own table. During this 2-day training, they actually get to practice facilitating all of the workshops. So by the time they walk away from this 2-day training, they know exactly what to do when they get back to their school. There's no in-prep time. We can also coach in their individual languages if necessary, as I've touched on. Mike, cue that video up for me. So again, as you see in the demonstration of the video here, it's hands-on. During this 2-day training, everyone will know exactly what they do. They'll know their roles. We even have little team role stickers and assign them their role on their team. And that team is going to work together now. That team at the training will complete a startup plan. No school walks away from a Parenting Partners training without knowing exactly what they're going to do. There's a copy of what our startup plan looks like. We don't just flyer and letter out to all parents in the school either. We have a targeted strategy, creative strategies for inviting parents, and we're going to have a section during that 2-day training to help your schools and your district develop a more clear strategy to intentionally inviting parents and targeting parents. You're going to be well-heeled as well. You'll get all the resources you need. You won't have to go shopping for a thing. So each facilitator gets their own manual and binder. Parents will get the parent workbook. We have samples of those parent workbooks in these blue bags for you all to take away with you here today. So you can take one of those back with you and take a look at that. Each team will also get a comprehensive team resource kit. In that kit is your PowerPoints, your props, The paper hearts that you've seen are already cut out for you. So literally there's no prep time. Over 95% of our teams have their first workshop up and running within 3 weeks or less. So very turnkey, shelf ready, if you will. Back up one there. So again, there's just a list of the resources that you see there. And now your team returns to their school and you have all the material you need to run this program repeatedly. So you can offer multiple groups per semester. You can offer language groups. You can do dad groups. You can do evenings, weekends, whatever you want to do at your site. You guys know your parents better than we do. We just want to coach to that plan. So the workshops can be offered multiple times per semester, year after year, again, touching more and more of our families and building up more and more of our parents as leaders in their schools, homes, and communities. The realization for us in doing this for over 15 years, almost 20 years now, is that parents make great facilitators. They have real-world experience, they have cultural values and experience, and they just tend to be more successful in reaching out and inviting other parents to come down. So that's our goal, is to help you guys, again, develop that cohort of parent leaders reaching out to one another. I've touched on the fact you have multi-year sustainability. We saw the various levels that Parenting Partners provides. Not only do we provide additional content, but we are not a train and run organization. So as you see, year-round team support is going to be supplied to your teams after the training. We're going to be following up. How's it going? How many parents are turning out? Do you have a plan for graduation and then next semester and then moving this into next year? So we're going to help you guys really grow this out at your school sites. Again, seeing more and more parents becoming the next facilitators, and of course, as we touched on, the additional content. The team support package is very robust, as you see here. So again, it includes the 2-day launch training as well as all of your outcomes and coaching. You'll notice the parent champions. Of course, we supply that to you as well. And with some school sites, if you go onto our Parenting Partners website, you will see city pages. So we've actually created a separate web page for Parenting Partners for each of the districts. So you'll see each of the schools. You'll see pictures of the parents meeting at these schools. So we would encourage you guys to go online and to check that out. Outcomes. So we're going to provide data back to you first and foremost. But what we see typically on those reports and from our schools is increased academic achievement. Most importantly, in literacy. We've had a tremendous impact in reading scores and reading times, also in behavioral issues and average daily attendance. So for those of you who are looking for more money for your schools and need more attendance, you probably need to give tools to your parents that help them create solid routines to get their kids to school every day, right? So more and more parents are engaged, and as we've touched on, that those parents are not just going to a workshop, they're really becoming truly leaders at your school. Here's a snapshot of a little bit of some of the stuff that's on this 13-page data report that we provide back to you. Each parent will complete a pre and a post survey. It allows us to complete this 13-page report, send it back to you. We can compile that report if you have multiple schools at your district doing this, so you can see the overall impact. This is from our 2016 report, guys. Total from all of our schools nationwide here. Average number of hours reading with their children almost doubled as a result of parents going through Parenting Partners. I don't know about you guys, that's a pretty significant improvement there. You'll also see here question number 9, percentage of children arriving to school on time significantly increased. So again, as I touched on, average daily attendance can be impacted significantly with Parenting Partners. More importantly, as Karen was touching on and unpacking the dual capacity building framework. So if any of you have ever heard Dr. Mapp speak, she uses 2 words repeatedly. Meaningful relationships, guys. That's what it's all about. If you are not connecting with your families, you are not really doing effective family-school partnerships. You are simply setting up workshops for parents to come get information. Okay, so that's what Parenting Partners is going to allow you to do, is to be more connected with your families. More importantly, your families more connected with their children as well. So you see, look at the increase in the time that parents are having more conversations about what's taking place in school with their children. So again, some tremendous impacts. Again, as you see here, some very happy graduates, parents who are ready to take that next step and become the next Parenting Partners facilitators at their schools. I'm going to wind it down right here. We're just going to return to this checklist because this is really what it's all about. If you are going to select a program or a model to implement at your school, I think you want to be checking off many of the things that you see on this list here. Folks, we thank you for your time today. We are located in booth 317 and 319. We have a lot more materials and stuff for you all to look at. Karen and Katie are going to be over here to collect any orange cards. So if any of you did fill out the orange cards, we want to get those from you. And also, not only do we want you guys to go on to the Title I app and evaluate our session, but right in there you will see a little link that says share my contact. We would love to follow up with you and talk with you about your schools and your district. We can do a webinar for you and your staff and make sure that this program and model fits in well with what you guys are already doing. Parenting Partners, we're not here to replace the work that you guys have already done and the groundwork that you have laid. Our program has the flexibility to adapt to what you guys are already doing and to enhance those processes, okay? With that, I guess maybe I have enough time to ask for a question or two. If not, I want to thank you all for your time today. Enjoy the rest of your conference. Please see Katie. Come by our booth. Thank you very much.